Another Saturday. Another chance to write the next chapter of a storied history.
Man, there's going to be some property destroyed tonight. The sugar falling out of the sky.
Between the hedges and across the state, this is where the dogs play.
What a crowd. You should see the bridge.
Shreds a tackle at the 20, 10, 5, touchdown for Nick Chubb. Boom, blitz, wow.
The pass just a pop in here between the heads.
Straight up the gut, breaks a tackle, 40, 35, 30, get to the house.
Wrong. Going to throw it to far corner, and it is caught going into the hedges. Touchdown, Miko Hartman. He's got blocks. 25, 20, to the house. 5, touchdown, baby.
This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Today's broadcast of Georgia football is brought to you by Children's Healthcare. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Sports Medicine. Comcast Business, built for business. Cook's Pest Control and the Centricon System, the unbeatable combination for termite protection. Georgia's own credit union. It's your future. Own it. Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. By your local Sherwin-Williams. Painting questions? Ask Sherwin-Williams. McDonald's, I'm loving it. Barbasol, new Barbasol premium disposable razors with close shave technology. You're looking good, America. You're shaving with Barbasol. Georgia United, the official credit union of Georgia Athletics. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800 State Farm. Now, alongside former All-American quarterback Eric Zeier, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Welcome back. Cloudy afternoon now here in Jacksonville. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Bulldogs and the Gators are ready to take the field and get this one underway. Z, this is the 80 of the last 82 meetings in this series have been here in this city in Jacksonville. Starting on a regular basis back in 1933. There were 2 on-campus contests while renovation was going on in the building of this facility that we're in now. Back in the 90s, that was in 94 and 95. When the game was played in Gainesville in 94 and then in Athens in 95. And you were in one of those, right?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, too. It's not the most pleasant of memories. Hopefully we erase that and turn the tide here today.
Well, the idea was for you to tell our listening audience what
I'm not bitter about it at all.
What the experience was like when this series is not in Jacksonville.
It's not good. It's not good.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't particular year.
In that particular year. Listen, the coming down to Jacksonville, this is such a special place. It's a unique atmosphere. Across college football, only one other game like this where you step into a neutral site and you've got half the stadium red and black here, half the stadium orange and blue. The excitement that surrounds this game is palpable. And as a player, the minute that you step onto campus and you get into the locker room, it's really what's talked about. And to be able to step into here and hopefully come out with a big victory today, these guys will remember it for the rest of their lives.
See, that wasn't so bad, was it?
It was better once we got off the...
that was very easy.
Yeah, thank you.
Georgia and Florida coming up. We'll take a timeout, come back for the kick in just a moment here on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Middle of the field, the 50-yard line, Chuck Dowdle.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Referee James Carter got the captains exchanging pleasantries. Sonny Michelle getting a big hug there. And I'm going to turn this over to James Carter. Here he is.
All right, gentlemen. Florida, you're the home team today. Georgia, you're the visitors. You'll call my toss, okay? Here's the coin. That's heads. Tails. What's your call?
Heads.
Call is heads. Heads. Toss, what would you like to do?
First.
In the second half, you want the ball. Yes.
All right, you heard it there. Georgia has deferred, won the toss on Sony's call. They've deferred to the second half. Florida will take the football. Scott, the only thing Gators are good for, shoes and belts. Let's get it on.
Beautiful.
Georgia has won the toss and elected to defer until the second half. Florida will receive.
All right, the announcement officially from referee James Carter. So there you go. And Chuck put it succinctly. The Gators... good for belts and shoes, and that's what the Dogs are going about trying to make sure of here today as the captains shake hands and head back to their sideline. And we'll have the kickoff here in just a moment. Today's kickoff is brought to you by Nestle. Root on the Dogs this season with custom Georgia Butterfinger bars. Show your Bulldog pride at your next watch party. Shop Butterfinger now on Amazon. Well, we had that hot sunshine earlier today, Z. Now we've got a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of a breeze, at least up in the upper portion of the stadium. I don't know how breezy it was down on the field for you guys, or if that's even a factor today, but it's a little bit cooler than it was earlier.
It is cooler. The breeze shouldn't play much of a factor unless it picks up some from where it is right now, but wind had very little effect there in pregame warm-ups. Right now, just a perfect day to go play football.
Florida's quarterback's tossing it around. Malik Zeier, a left-hander, the graduate transfer from Notre Dame. He's out throwing it around. Felipe Franks, the redshirt freshman starter, is out getting some last warm-up tosses in. Florida kick receiving team is on the field. Now Georgia's kickoff unit will come onto the field from the far sideline. Georgia will be kicking from left to right with Rodrigo Blankenship doing the honors, and Darius Lemons is the deep receiver for the Gators, a 6-foot freshman from Clearwater, Florida, taking over kick return duties from Tyree Cleveland, who's been battling injuries. So Lemons returned kicks against Texas A&M 2 weeks ago, and he's back ready to go again today. Let's check in with Chuck Dowdle again on the Cooks Pest Control sidelines. Chuck.
Tony, Scott, just real quickly, I got to tell you, there are a lot, for standing over here on the Georgia sideline, a lot of empty seats on that Gator side.
Well, one could surmise that they're still in the parking lot, right, or still at home. One or the other. A lot of folks have trouble making their way away from their tailgate party and into the stadium. Here we go. We are underway. Here's the kick from Rodrigo Blankenship. Long, deep, end-over-end kick. Lemons backs up to the back line of the end zone and watches it sail over his head. Another touchback for Rodrigo Blankenship. It'll be Florida's ball, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line with the touchback. So the Dogs with the ball now at their own 47. First possession of the game, no score. First possession for Georgia. Fromm will work under center. Chubb's in the backfield. One receiver to each side. It's a 2 tight end set. Naughter to the left, Blazevich to the right. Snap. Handoff. Chubb straight in at left guard and left tackle, and the Gators will pile it up at the 49-yard line. Be a gain of 2 for the senior from Cedartown, Georgia, Nick Chubb, and it'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Bulldogs. So nothing fancy from either side, Z, to start the ball game on their first series.
No, not at all. Gators there at cover 1. They had 9 guys in the box on that one. That was a check with me, just going away from the strong safety, Chauncey Gardner from the Florida Gators. You've heard his name before. He's the one that did all the trash talking this week.
Out of the shotgun, Fromm will take the snap, hand off to Chubb. He runs straight up the field, crosses the 50, then veers out to his left towards the Georgia sideline to get out towards the numbers. Marco Wilson, the cornerback for the Gators, will make the tackle just inside the Florida 46-yard line. That's a pickup of 5. It will be 3rd down and about 2.5 yards for a 1st down for the Bulldogs. They're in Gator territory, just outside their 45-yard line, moving to our right. Fromm in the shotgun, 2 receivers stacked up to the left and 2 to the right. We work on the far hash, moving to the right. And DeAndre Swift in the backfield now for the first time. Snap, here comes pressure, they blitz, we throw it to Swift in the right flat. He makes the catch, down the sideline, Swift to the 30, to the 20, spins off a tackle down to the 10, still upright down inside the 10-yard line. They finally got him out of bounds at the 6. Duke Dawson tried to bump Swift out of bounds, and DeAndre just spun and bumped off of him and kept going.
Boy, tremendous play call there by Georgia. The Gators went cover 0 and brought the house. That was just the sight adjust on that play. Jake Fromm didn't panic with the blitz that was coming at him. A couple of guys running free, just gave ground. And then DeAndre Swift just ran a quick flat route. That was the the hot route, hot receiver on that play. As soon as he was able to get it out of his hands and into Swift's hands, a lot of green grass, and then a great individual effort.
Polite made the tackle after a 40-yard gain down to the Gators 6. A first down brought to you by Scana Energy. We run it with Chubb, straight ahead running, and he will drive into the end zone, right up the hash mark. Touchdown, Nick Chubb. He was pushed in there with his lineman, and the Dogs are on the board first. It's 6-0.
Boy, that's taking care of business right there. Probably the best thing that you see is no big celebration by the Dogs. Get into the end zone, flip the ball to the referee, get over to the sideline, just taking care of business like usual.
Lamont Gilliard got behind Chubb when he ran into some traffic around the 2, and Big Lamont just pushed him right into the end zone across the goal line. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Point after try. Rodrigo Blankenship up and good. 7-0. Georgia scores on its first series here in Jacksonville. 11:34 to go first quarter. It's the Dogs 7, the Gators nothing. Back in a moment. Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Gators again huddle on the sideline, very slow getting up to the football. Still time on the play clock, but little urgency there in that Gator offense.
Felipe Franks backs up into the shotgun. Out of the pistol. Now Pirine is the running back. LaMichael Pirine tries to bounce out to the right, and we knock him down at the 25-yard line. Just keep driving him towards the sideline. Aaron Davis stretched it out and made the tackle as Pirine got a yard on the play to the 26. Lorenzo Carter helped out after Davis made the nice defensive play to stretch it out and make first contact, and then Lorenzo was over there to stop the Gator running back.
Just a wonderful play there by Aaron Davis. He was engaged with the Florida blocker, able to shed him and keep contained as Pirine broke that outside. Looked like he had some running room for a second, but the speed of the Dog defense just evident again.
4-man rush for Georgia. Franks in the pocket. He's got time this time. He's looking. Now he dances and he slings it to the near sideline and into the Gator bench. Incomplete. That thing hung up in the air and just barely made it over the bench, over the out of bounds, as David Marshall got some pressure on Franks late. He was backpedaling and then just chunked it from that far hash to the near sideline, out of bounds, incomplete, just to get rid of it. Tyree Cleveland was in the vicinity, but no one was going to catch that incomplete pass. It's 3rd and 9.
Pretty vanilla there from the Dogs. Just a simple cover two, but fantastic coverage. Nowhere for Franks to go with that football again. And finally the rush gets to him, forcing him to throw it away.
Franks is 6'5", standing tall back there in the pocket. Play fake. Here comes pressure from Ledbetter. We're chasing. He rolls right. He throws. It's off the fingertips and intercepted by Georgia. Dogs intercepted. Out of bounds on the sideline. It is Dominic Sanders, the ball hawk. Freddie Swain had it bounce off his hands, and Sanders was there to catch the tip ball in front of the Georgia bench. He went running down the sideline. They'll mark him out of bounds, I believe, at the 29-yard line of Florida. Another interception for Sanders, his 3rd of the year, and number 15 in his Georgia career. Dogs ball on the 29. Let's check in with Chuck Dowdle, Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
Eric pointed out before, still a very business-like atmosphere over here on the sideline. And now you see, though, why when the Dogs make a team one-dimensional, this team, the 102nd passing offense in the country.
4th interception by Felipe Franks. His pass, Z, looked a little bit high off the hands of Swain. Are they reviewing this play?
I think they are, but clearly an interception there. They may be looking at where he got his foot down out of bounds. They're letting him play now.
All right, Georgia up to the line of scrimmage at the 29 after the pick. 1st and 10 Dogs leading at 7-0 on the Florida 29-yard line. Shotgun snap to Fromm. Here's Chubb. Breaks out to the right. 25, 23, 20. Through tackler, spins away down to the 15, falls forward to the 13-yard line. David Reese, the middle linebacker, finally trips Chubb up. After a nice run, they'll spot it at the 13. Another Scana Energy first down. Nick Chubb started up straight, and then he bounced out right and then weaved his way downfield to the Gator 13.
Gators have struggled keeping running backs contained in one form or fashion, and there you saw it again. Nick Chubb able to bounce that outside as the left side of the Gator defensive line completely collapsed. then all kinds of running room, and then broken tackle after broken tackle.
16-yard gain. Here's Sony Michel in the ballgame for the first time. Gators trying to get him down in the backfield. He twisted away from 2 or 3 blue shirts, and then the fourth one, C.C. Jefferson, they finally get Sony on the ground back at the 17-yard line. A loss on the play. Kerry Clark, Voshan Joseph, C.C. Jefferson in on the stop. The ball is back on the 17, so it's a loss of 4 for Georgia. And it'll be second down coming up from the 17-yard line.
And the
Second and 14.
And the Gators have done a good job of getting in offensive backfields this year. That's not the first time that's happened, where quick penetration creates it just breaks up any momentum on a given play.
4 receiver set for Fromm. Passing situation. He'll throw it far corner. They're pulling. Oh, my goodness. Wims, they were pulling on his jersey. He fought it off, and like Superman, he went up and got it as they were tugging on his cape. He brought it down on the far pylon at the 1-yard line. Marco Wilson was just tugging and pulling, but Wims was way too strong. He went up and pulled that joker out of the air.
Did he ever? We were one-on-one outside. Fromm patiently puts that football up into a spot that only Wims can go get it, and they were all over him at the coverage very, very tight, but Wims able to go up and just snatch that thing out of the air.
Well, it was a touchdown. I thought he came down at the 1. It's a touchdown. I'm sorry. It's a touchdown. Here's the point after. I thought he came down on the 1-yard line. I saw the official marking it on the 1. It's a touchdown, and the point after try is good, and it's 14-0. Well, that Wims play was even better because we got points out of it. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. The point after is good. It's 14-0 Dogs. I liked everything about that but the call. Back in a moment on the Bulldog Sports Network.
Easy to cook smoked sausage from Johnsonville. We don't make sausage, we make family and sausage.
Well, I'm sorry. Sony Michel just went 74 yards for a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage on that series by Georgia. At the 26-yard line, a simple handoff straight ahead. Sony Michel with a gaping hole just outran the Florida defense.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
74 yards, and it's 20-0. Just like that. 7:32 still to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, halfway through the first quarter, and on that play, the Gators were in cover 1 to get everybody jammed up. We're able to get quickly to the second level, and then no Gator is around them. It was open field all the way, and enough juice in Sony Michel to find pay dirt before any Gator caught up with them. Halfway through the first quarter, the Dogs trying to break the will of these Gators.
Well, they're doing a good job of that. The point after try is good. My goodness. It's an early onslaught by Georgia. As that touchdown by Sony Michel, again, 74 yards on the touchdown run. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
"30 minutes are in the books. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Halftime Report. Here's your host, Neil Hondo Williamson.
You know when you're a kid and you're thinking about the big game that's coming up for your team and you're kind of fantasizing, and if we scored and then we intercept the ball and we score again and we could be up, and you're playing it out in your head the way you'd like it to go. That's what the first quarter looked like for the Dogs today, folks. 21-0 here at the half. Georgia just walloping the daylights out of the Gators in the first quarter. Started out with Florida with the ball first and a sack on 3rd and 13. Followed that with a 15-yard punt return by Mecole Hardman. Next thing you know, Georgia's in the end zone just 3-4 plays later on a Nick Chubb touchdown. Dominic Sanders with an interception on Florida's next series. Georgia countered with a fade pass to Javon Wims from Jake Fromm. Then it was 14-0. Soon after that, Florida went 3 and out. We handed the ball to Sony Michel, and he made like Tim Worley or Keith Henderson back in 1985. Bang! Right up the middle, 74 yards touchdown against the Gators. 21-0. Georgia on top here at the half. 188 first quarter yards for the Dogs. We'll come back and check all those statistics for you in just a bit. Right now, though, it's time for our Georgia Student Athlete of the Week, and here's our Steve Bell. Steve, great to be back with you from Jacksonville, where Georgia leads Florida 21-0. Let's talk about the defense first. The Dogs' defense came out in the first quarter, basically threw the Gators around like little rag dolls. I mean, really just tossing them all over the place. Our front six guys, you've got Ledbetter, Atkins, Thompson, Clark, Rochester, and Marshall dominating the Florida offensive line and the line of scrimmage, allowing everybody behind them to make some great plays. And Georgia, with a couple of sacks there in the first half, an interception by Dominic Sanders, his 15th career interception, by the way, one shy of the Georgia record held by Jake Scott and Bakari Rambo both. And Georgia also able to stop the Gators on a 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. 4th and 2, rather, from the 4-yard line. Georgia defense just playing great in the first half. For the offense, you got Sony Michel with 5 carries for 92 yards, 1 TD, including a 74-yard burst. Nick Chubb has toted the mail 8 times for 74 yards. Nick scored the first touchdown of the game. Jake Fromm has put the ball in the air only 4 times. He's 2 for 4 passing, 56 yards. One of those, a 17-yard strike to Javon Wims. Something to keep an eye on in the second half, and that is time of possession. Florida held the ball for almost 20 minutes in the first half. We'll see if we can hang on to the ball a little bit longer in the second half, make sure our defense isn't out there too long. But Georgia gets the ball first when we return. Scott Howard, Eric Zeier, and Chuck Dowdle will bring you the second half play-by-play and analysis. Dogs on top, 21-0 leading the Gators. Number 3 in the nation and looking for more, baby. This is the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
3rd and 10 and some change. Fromm in a passing situation. Drops back on his 15. Looking, all kinds of time. Looks to the right, throws it. Whoa, way deep, and it's intercepted on a lob at the Georgia 41-yard line. Duke Dawson just dropped back in center field there and looked like a outfielder catching a fly ball over his shoulder. An easy pick back at the Georgia 41-yard line. Fromm with a mistake there for the Georgia offense, and now the Gators with an opportunity here to begin the second half.
Poor decision there by Fromm. Fromm got flushed out of the pocket a little bit to his left, and Sony Michel was his check down, but he was out in the flat way across the field to the right. I think that Jake thought that Sony was going to turn up field and almost run like a little wheel route. He just let it go. That wasn't the design of the play at all. Ended up throwing it right into Dawson's hand.
Well, we'll see if the offense can pick up the slack a little bit as the defense took over on downs. Georgia ball at the 24. Toss to Chubb to the left. He's hitting the backfield immediately. The blocking broke down. Chubb was being batted around like a pinball in the backfield, able to twist and fall his way back to the original line of scrimmage. Actually got a yard or so. 2nd down and 9 at ball just across the 25. Jabari Zuniga, defensive end from Marietta, Georgia, made the final stop for the Gator defense. 2nd down and 9 now. Chubb stays in. They'll work out of the pistol. Fromm calling the signals. 8:30 to go, 3rd quarter. 21-0 Georgia. There's the snap. Zone read. Fromm's got the ball. He's going to keep it. 30, 35, 37, 38. Nice fake to Chubb. The defense with him. And Jake Fromm runs it into the Florida bench for a first down to the 37-yard line. A gain of 12. And a Scana Energy first down for the Bulldogs.
Boy, we run it so often where Jake Fromm keeps it that almost every time we do, there's just a gaping hole there for Fromm to go find additional yardage. Nice pickup. Let's see if that gets some rhythm back into this offense.
Chubb in the backfield. Dogs 1st and 10 from our 37. Nick keeps it this time. Bounces out to the right, and the Gators twist him down right at the line of scrimmage. David Reese, the leading tackler for this Gator defense, and the 3rd leading tackler in the entire SEC with the stop. And they'll spot the ball down for a loss, actually, back closer to the 31-yard line. So Chubb with a rare loss. Nick with 76 yards rushing today. Sony with 92 yards on the ground. DeAndre Swift into the ball game now for Georgia, the freshman from Philadelphia. He stands to Fromm's left. Second down, 11. Fromm throws, caught by Swift at the 40. Swift to the 50. Swift into Gator territory and hit down at the 45, 44-yard line.
And I'm not sure who he just laid the wood on, but they're still down on the ground right now. Oh, was that Chauncey Gardner?
Was Swift running a slant? Swift was running a slant, and Fromm hit him, and Swift down to the Gator 45-yard line. And Florida's Gardner is injured, and there's going to be a timeout. 7:07 to go, third quarter. Georgia 21, Florida nothing. Injury timeout. Back to Jacksonville after this. Bulldog Sports Network. And the Dogs have the ball on the Gator 45-yard line, 1st and 10. Moving to our left, Fromm under center, hands off. Sony Michel, big hole at left tackle. Sony, 35-30, race to the end zone, 20, 15, 10, 5, get to the corner. Touchdown, Sony Michel. Yes, indeed. His second of the game.
Boy, Gators brought the house right there. We were able to get through that first level. Nice job up front by Isaiah Wynn, sealing the edge. And then, as soon as Sony Michel got into the secondary off to the races, nobody was going to catch him.
He had a 74-yard sprint to the end zone earlier in the game in the first half, and now a 45-yard touchdown run. Sony Michel lighting it up here in Jacksonville. That touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Here's Rodrigo Blankenship for the point after try. The snap, the hold, the kick. Good, good, and good into the net. Georgia 28 and Florida nothing. Sony Michel over 3,000 yards rushing in his career now, and another 100-yard game, the 10th of his Georgia career for the senior from Plantation, Florida. Sony now with 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Sunshine State native getting his money's worth today here in the northeast corner of the state.
And this Georgia running game right now averaging 10.2 yards per carry. Sony Michel leading the way, as you just mentioned, Scott. Nick Chubb averaging 6.8 per carry, 75 yards on the afternoon. Jake Fromm in on the action with a 13-yard carry as well.
The drive was 76 yards. It took 5 plays. The touchdown came on a 45-yard run by Sony Michel to make it 28-0. That's the Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. He's in the shotgun. They work on the far hash, moving right. They slide a man in motion from the edge. Franks, here comes pressure. We chase him out of the pocket. Oh, my goodness, we clobbered him. He lost the ball. We pick it up and run it into the end zone. Touchdown. J.R. Reed picked it up on the 2 and just scored. Tyreek McGee with the hit. He leveled their Florida quarterback back inside the 5. The ball came out, and the nails are going in the coffin. It's 34-0.
Boy, are they ever. Dogs brought the house. We haven't done it all day, but we get them backed up, and there we come. And Felipe Franks, he's been tough to bring down the entire game. Trying to get that football out again and stay up and avoid the sack. That time, no dice. Dogs pick it up and walk it into the end zone.
J.R. Reed on the sidelines being hoisted in the savage shoulder pads with spikes on the Georgia sideline. He picked up the loose ball and ran 2 yards into the end zone, and the celebration began. It's 34-0. That defensive Georgia touchdown brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Rodrigo Blankenship keeping his leg warmed up. He's ready for the extra point try. The snap and the hold are good, and so is the kick. 35-0. Dogs with 5:21 to go in the third quarter. That's more like it.
Yeah, much more like it there, and the Gator fans have started to leave after the last dog score. Well, they've just added to the ranks.
2-yard fumble recovery and stroll into the end zone by J.R. Reed is your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Let's go down to that celebrating Georgia sideline with Chuck Dowdle for Cook's Pest Control Report. Chuck.
You know, and this is the first time today that you've seen the Dogs really excited and celebrating. Everything else has been very businesslike. And I thought back to this morning as I was watching College Game Day and some of the pundits talking about, well, it's a rivalry game, and so they expected it to be really tight and maybe Georgia would pull it out in the end. This is a different Georgia team. It is very serious, very businesslike, and again, up until that return for the touchdown off the fumble, the first time I've seen excitement and like celebration on this Bulldog bench.
At the Gator 39, Eason under center. And he'll hand it off to Elijah Holyfield. Breaks the tackle at the 35, to the 30, to the 25, far sideline, 10-5 into the end zone, dives for the pylon. He got it! Touchdown, Georgia!
Boy, what a great run there by Holyfield, able to split a gap right at the line of scrimmage, and the Gators committing everybody to the run. As soon as we broke that line of scrimmage, he was off to the races. You knew nobody was going to get him. Great individual effort there.
Pretty easy job for Eason right there, huh? He just put it in the belly of Elijah Holyfield. He had a big hole at left tackle, and he was off to the races. They wouldn't catch him on the 39-yard sprint into the end zone. That makes it 41-0. So the Dogs do get to 40. As somebody predicted in the pregame show. Here's the point after. It's good.
Who would that have been?
That's another Georgia touchdown. Sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And the point after is good. And it's 42-0. 11:22 to go in the game. Dogs all over the Gators in Jacksonville. Back after this timeout, Bulldog Sports Network. And we're under a minute to go. And the Georgia fans across the way start to make a little more noise. They'll snap it one more time, and this will be in the victory formation at the 35-yard line. And the Dogs will end a 3-game losing streak here in this series and hopefully start one of their own. This will be win number 1 in the other direction against the Gators. Eason will take the snap. He'll take a knee for a 1.5-yard, 2-yard loss, and that'll be the last play of the ball game. 42-7 will be your final score. The Dogs clobbering the Florida Gators here in Jacksonville. Third-ranked Dogs now 8-0, 5-0 in the SEC, and in firm control of the Eastern Division in the Southeastern Conference. The Dogs have now won 9 straight. The Gators with the loss now 3-4 and 3-3 in the SEC, and in a world of hurt in their program. 42-7 is the final. South Carolina's up next Saturday afternoon, a 3:39 kick between the hedges at Sanford Stadium. Dogs are celebrating. They'll enjoy the victory tonight here in Jacksonville, and we will too. We'll begin our post-game coverage right after this timeout. Our final again from Jacksonville, Georgia 42, Florida 7 on the Bulldog Sports Network.